You are running with the runners. It is Tuesday, September 19th, 2023. I got my boy, Crypto Rick, aka Mims, make it make sense. He's a little under the weather, but he's a trooper. He's not going to miss a runner's live. So, brother, good to have you back. And, I think by tomorrow you'll be 100%. But tonight, Ricardo, we're going to be talking about Bitcoin and why and how they are lying to you and why people need to know the truth. So, brother, what's going on? How you feeling? And how important is it for everyone to own some Bitcoin?
Yeah. No, I'm feeling better. Definitely, man. It was hitting me this week. I don't know if something's going around. Talked to a couple other people that they were down and out for something as well. But I'm feeling much better. I'm excited. What I'm saying, to always be on a Runners Live show and bring this value to the community, because there's only so many places where you're gonna be able to get this information articulated in a certain way, and then also point you in a direction on where you need to go to be able to capitalize. So I'm excited about today's show because we right on the precipice. We we right on the edge of this reset, this wealth transfer, this explosion in the market, or this crisis. I mean, we're right on the edge of it. So you want to make sure you stay up to date with the most updated information to have the best perspective and be well diversified to take advantage no matter which way it goes. So, that's why I'm excited about this show, because I know a lot of people need to know what's going on with Bitcoin.
So I wasn't planning on showing this at the beginning, but I want to show you guys how important it is that you watch this stream and that you share it out. So this is major institutions getting into Bitcoin and their exposure to it. So we have Fidelity at 4.5 trillion, Invesco 1.5 trillion, Franklin Templeton 1.4 trillion, Wisdom Tree 94 billion, Van Eck 78 billion, Global X 45 billion, ARK Invest 14 billion, Valkyrie and Bitwise at 1 billion. The total there is $17 trillion that is coming into Bitcoin. Okay, this isn't, some dude in his basement, right? It's not some cyberpunk libertarian. It is mass adoption of huge institutional investments. And we're going to show you guys tonight how they don't want you to know this, how they are lying to you, how they are trying to hide this. So it's important that you pay attention, that you get this information into as many people's hands as possible, right? Because we talk about this all the time, and I'll let Ricardo go into this. Inflation is happening right in front of our eyes with the US dollar. They are creating trillions and trillions of it. And, we love gold and silver, keep buying gold and silver. But without a doubt, the future is Bitcoin and cryptocurrency. So, Mims, make it make sense before we roll the video tonight.
Yeah, just to put that in perspective, that's half of the U.S. debt. Okay, we just broke $33 trillion in debt as a nation. 33 trillion, folks, with a T. Half of that, okay, is going to be into Bitcoin. All right, and understand something that the world right now. Watch the oil prices, watch the bond market. Okay, we're seeing some major shifts right now in these markets, especially what's going on with BRICS and Saudi Arabia and other countries no longer want to do global trade in dollars. And so when Mike tells you, look out for the inflation, it's real. We will see some type of an event here that's huge. But this is why we're talking about where's the money going, because that's where also the opportunity is. And this is why we show you when we say $17 million, 17 trillion, okay, with a T, $17 trillion is going into Bitcoin. This is something that you want to pay attention to, but you also want to make sure that you're in position to capitalize as well.
So if you guys are watching right now, give me the hashtag Bitcoin. All right. Hashtag Bitcoin. Like this wherever you're watching it. Share it out so that people can understand what real money is. Because you guys have to understand the dollar is debt. Almost our entire, financial ecosystem is built on debt. Bitcoin, gold, silver are real money. They are assets that appreciate over time versus the dollar that is inflationary and goes down in value over time. All right, so let's get into this video. This is from Altcoin Daily, one of the best channels on YouTube. And he really put together a great piece on how they are lying to you about Bitcoin.
In 2018, we told you to invest in Bitcoin. BlackRock told you to stay away from Bitcoin. This is CEO Larry Fink lying to you about BlackRock's interest in cryptocurrency.
All right, so for those who don't know, BlackRock is the biggest investment firm in the entire world. They basically run the government. I think they have more assets than the US government. Okay. Larry Fink is their CEO right now. Okay. So this is like the biggest, the number one investment firm in the entire world. They have the most wealth of any investment firm in the entire world. So pay attention to what they're about to say here.
Is it true that you're building out a cryptocurrency capability? No. I mean,
okay, so when I watch this, Ricardo, I'm like, you got to read body language. And you know when people are lying, when they wait to answer and they look away from you. I mean, it's just ridiculous.
I mean, we're looking at it. We're looking at blockchain technologies, and we're looking at all the
But blockchain isn't crypto. Blockchain is just the underlying technology. Well, don't your clients want crypto exposure?
No, I don't believe any client has sought out crypto exposure.
Really?
Yes.
But at some point they might. Do you need to be prepared?
I don't, at the moment, no. I have not heard from any one client they're looking to.
Bruh. Yeah. You're telling me in 2018, you're BlackRock. Right. You know, you got millions of clients and investors all around the world. Bitcoin had went to 20 grand. And not one person was like, hey, Larry, maybe we should look at this Bitcoin cryptocurrency thing. Get out of here, son.
Right.
That's why this is just comical to see, you know, what they do to try to lead people astray.
Yeah, didn't want to bring validity to it.
To buy a cryptocurrency at this time. But right now, I can tell you it worldwide. I have not heard from one client who said, I need to be in this.
Larry Fink lied to you about Bitcoin and cryptocurrency while he made moves behind the scenes. Reminder, this is Larry Fink just 5 years later.
And as I said,
All right, so that was 2018.
Yeah.
This is now. This interview just happened today. So look at how he has changed his tune in just 5 years. Not one person, according to him, wanted Bitcoin in 2018. And now listen to what he has to say about it.
I do believe a lot of crypto is an international asset. It has a differentiating value versus other asset classes, but more importantly, because it's so international, it's going to transcend any one currency and currency evaluation. If you just look at the value of our dollar, how it depreciated the last two months and how much it appreciated over the last 5 years, I mean, an international crypto product can really transcend that. And that's why we believe there's great opportunities, and that's why we're seeing more and more interest. And that interest is broad-based worldwide.
We knew this would happen.
Mims, can you make that make sense?
Yeah. He's talking about, look at the loss of the dollar. Who did say the last 2 months? I'm like, what are you talking about last 2 months? Talk about since the inception. How about that?
Yeah, it's for the last 110 years.
Yeah, exactly. And he's like, well, look at Bitcoin. Well, obviously, yeah, look at Bitcoin. But I mean, this is he made a great point. When you have the world and fiat currencies are crashing, being burnt up. It's like that image what I show with the Economist magazine with the rising phoenix out of all the fiat currency. You know, it's a digital asset, okay, that's not tied to any country. You know, that's kind of what was supposed to be set up after Bretton Woods. You know, one country wasn't supposed to have the world reserve currency because of the trifling dilemma, which was the ability to be able to satisfy domestic and foreign agendas and still maintain the value of the currency and the backing of it. So we could see, you know, obviously, I think we're going to see a massive rise in digital assets, especially Bitcoin. XRP and those of alike, because, you know, money doesn't die. It doesn't disappear when markets crash. And we are in a overinflated, hyperinflated, manipulated market. This is one of the biggest bubbles in human history. And when it collapses, it's a wealth transfer, because, you know, trillions of dollars are going to flow into assets, digital and physical. And Bitcoin is definitely going to be one of them.
He literally said, Ricardo, Bitcoin can transcend all of these other currencies, you know, these fiat currencies. So he goes from nobody wants this thing 5 years ago to where Bitcoin can transcend and go above and be this international payment that the entire world is using. I mean, I guess at least it's good he's right now, or he's being honest.
Yeah.
But again, guys, this is BlackRock, the #1 investment firm in the entire world, saying this. And I still see all these normies out here. Oh, Bitcoin's a scam. I don't get it. I don't want to do it. I'm just like, bruh.
What's the quote, Mike? What is it? They say first they ignore you, then they laugh at you, then they fight you, then you win. Something like that. Yeah. So
then
they just try to ignore it. Yeah, then they join you. Yeah. So Bitcoin, nobody rat poisoning, you know, and then it's like, you're crazy, you know, and now it's like, well, it's actually really solid and, you know, has all this great use, and
it transcends everything.
Transcends everything, right?
More interest, and that interest is broad-based worldwide.
We knew this would happen. I told you this would happen. And doing one thing while saying another, it's kind of par for the course for these Wall Street types.
On September 12th,
just so everyone knows, Jamie Dimon is the CEO and president of Chase Bank, JP Morgan Chase Bank. I think one of the top 4 biggest banks in the United States. Jamie Dimon, listen to what this rat says.
He just came out saying that Chase is now taking your cash and turning it into digital tokens as well. Go ahead.
Even better.
Yeah.
Jamie Dimon says Bitcoin is a fraud. He says he'll fire any one of his traders buying Bitcoin. Bitcoin drops 24%. When Jamie Dimon speaks, people listen. So that weekend, we found out that the largest buyer of a Bitcoin fund that's in Europe that buys physical Bitcoin, right? The largest buyer was Morgan Stanley and JP Morgan. And that's not illegal.
Can you believe that? That's not illegal to be the president of a bank, come out and publicly say Bitcoin is rat poison and the biggest fraud, and then the price crashes 24% and your company buys it up. Can you make that make sense?
Yeah. I mean, that's what they've been doing in every market, every asset class, all the time. They crash the market, they fudge you out, and they buy it and they create the crash, and then they buy it all up for pennies. While they've been telling you to stay away from it the whole time. You know, this is why counter narratives and dissenting opinions like what we're sharing and countless others telling people, look, you want to be into this asset class. You want to forget what they're saying on MSNBC. You know, forget what you're hearing from Jamie Dimon and the blank Goldman Sachs and all these guys. You know, forget what they're talking about. This is the asset class you want to be in.
Apparently they love it. They just love lying to you, getting you to sell it, and then buying it on sale.
That's it.
He says it's a fraud.
It says he'll fire anyone that buys it. Yes.
And at the same time, his company is buying it.
His company is buying it.
It's just, I mean, so unethical.
Or how about George Soros?
George Soros, in January 24th, price was already down, calls Bitcoin a bubble, says Bitcoin is the worst investment in the world. Don't buy Bitcoin. Don't buy Bitcoin. Basically throws gasoline on the fire at this point. And then what do we find out? So he says bubble here.
It drops 44%.
Right. And then here in April, 2 months later, guess what we find out?
Yeah.
His $26 billion family office has approval to buy cryptocurrency.
Right. And we only knew about it publicly here. And this is the kind of thing that George Soros is famous for this.
The oldest trick in the book. If you want to buy a lot of something, what do? You shit on it. Right? When George Soros wanted to corner the market in copper, right? What did he do? he didn't go out and buy a bunch of copper. He went out and sold a bunch of copper and spread rumors that copper was going to zero. Then you swoop in and buy a whole bunch after the price collapses.
So you've got to look at this.
If you guys don't know, George Soros basically funds every left-wing, Marxist, Democrat institution in the world. And he is known for crashing currencies. He almost broke the British pound. So essentially, his whole plan is to crash things and buy them when they're low. Genius, but, he's been doing this for a while.
Preponderance of evidence, right? All these people are already wealthy. All these people care about their reputation. If Bitcoin is such a trashy asset, why are all these people getting involved?
Today, we're seeing something just like this.
So Mims, I want you to hit on that, right? Let me walk this back here just a minute, right? You have, Goldman Sachs, BlackRock, the Rothschilds, all these things. Like you said, these are rich and wealthy people. Why are they telling you this is trash while they're buying it?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, just like you said, because they want to buy it up. That's what they do. But this is obviously they've been exposed today, because normally to even come to this consensus or be able to make these correlations, to get this understanding of what's really going on, not buy the hype, not, hey, look over here, don't look over here. They give with one hand, take with the other. But now we're able to see their contradictions in real time, because people forget. And not all the time people might catch the update on the news or the update on the opinions, but they'll remember that, hey, at this point in time in 2018, they said it was trash. They might not have caught the news today that they're putting trillions of dollars into this. But unless you're following the right people who stand informed and know what's going on in these markets, then you will know, and then you'll be doing the same thing as they do. So that's why they say, don't do what they say, because they said it's trash. They saying, it's worthless. Do what they do. They're putting trillions of dollars behind it.
That's it.
If Bitcoin is such a trashy asset, why are all these people getting involved?
Today, we're seeing something just like this again. See, you may think that Bitcoin and cryptocurrency is dead, or dead in America, or about to get severely wounded, because that's what they want you to think. Except this time, they can't hide what they're doing in the background. I'm talking about this Citigroup news. Citigroup debuts token service in latest foray into...
Is this what you were talking about earlier, Ricardo? Yeah, or is there another?
Yeah. No, that was it.
Okay.
Yeah, I thought it was Chase, but it might have been Citigroup. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. This just came out. That Larry Fink on CNBC, that was this week. And then Citigroup debuting this token service. They're going to cover here really quick. This just happened this week.
Digital assets.
Your company this morning announcing tokenized deposits using blockchain technology. What exactly are we talking about here?
This morning we announced Citi Token Services for cash and trade, that we've done live pilot transactions. So truly future-proofing Citi's infrastructure with tokens. So really excited to be here and share the details.
Hey, join us at Bitcoin Amsterdam October. Organs are being added there. Citigroup's new offering turns customer deposits into digital tokens. Pilot program focuses on trade finance and cash management. This sounds good, right? And to be clear, this is good. This is the good part.
Can you break down what exactly this means and why it's important for Citi beyond, innovation and innovating for the sake of innovating?
Yeah. So if we think about this digital frontier that we've entered, where clients want always on 24/7, 365 infrastructure. So if you think you're a large multinational client where you have multiple bank accounts in multiple different regions across border, and you keep buffers of cash in each of these regions, it's really an inefficient use of cash. So think of the future where you can do just-in-time funding. If it's Saturday or it's Friday night, 5 p.m. in the US and 5 a.m. in Singapore, but you need to get money there, you can send that immediately within seconds. And I think that really adds that kind of like that benefit for clients. And then the programmability is also really important functionality that we're adding. So our, Citi Token Services for trade with smart contracts to be able to, and again, a smart contract is just a series of, if this happens, then do that. So, if this contract, is executed, then release the funds, and fully automated, no paper, really enabling clients for that, always on infrastructure.
Here, Citigroup explains their future plans for tokenization. This is also the good part.
How do you see Citi expanding on these capabilities down the road?
Yeah, so we built this platform on a ERC20 EVM compatible protocol.
All right. So let's take a time out here, Mims, and make it make sense to people, right? Now they're going to talk about this here in a minute, but just so you guys understand, they're using a permission blockchain, okay? Which means they can control it. There's no decentralization. It's a centralized, controllable blockchain, but they're using it inside their own system. It is on the Ethereum chain, though. EVM compatible just means the Ethereum virtual machine, which basically everything, runs on. Like, if you're not EVM compatible in the crypto market, you're not going to really make many waves, because it's kind of like, you could say, the main highway everyone kind of builds on. Anything you want to add to that of just, I guess I call that a clue.
Yeah. Well, when I hear stuff like this, I think about ISO tokens. I think about XRP. I think about XLM. She started talking about smart contracts. I think about XDC. And, this is where this is where we're talking about diversification and digital assets and the wealth transfer. And then once again, if you put the whole thing in the big picture, you have to understand that trillions of dollars are moving into this space. And you just saw 17 trillion in the Bitcoin. At the same time, they told you don't buy Bitcoin. Now you find out they're using Bitcoin. And now you see banks are actually taking your cash and turning it into digital tokens. Okay. So now it's figuring out, well, where's the money going? And then where's the money leaving? And it's the stock market. It's these dollar denominated, archaic financial, instruments and systems. And it's all converting and transforming over to the new system, to the blockchain. That's really what it's coming down to. It's coming down to the blockchain. And so, these digital assets, this is where you want to be. This is how you participate and benefit from the wealth transfer and get ahead of the curve. Bitcoin, ISO tokens, and everything else. That's what came to my head.
100%. And if you guys are new and you haven't been following us, again, he's talking about ISO 20022 protocol. We've done a lot of videos on this, but that's like XRP, XDC, Quant, Hedera Hashgraph, also called HBAR, kind of Algorand. I think they're close to getting that technical definition of it. And what
XLM.
XLM, that's it. Stellar.
Yep, Stellar.
Which is really important. There's a lot of legislation out there in the marketplace right now in regards to stablecoins and crypto. And if any of these bills pass and our clients want to start using these, we'll have an enabled platform. So having this ERC20 token, which will be fungible, today, day one, we're doing it for, tokenized deposits, cash management, efficiencies in trade, but really future-proofing and working with clients to build this out. So, we mentioned Maersk, which is one of our pilot clients, and really helping to build out the functionality in our roadmap, which includes not just a Citi token. We want to work with other banks, like we've done on the regulated liability network with the Fed and other banks. Like, clients don't want, individual bank tokens. They want multi-token, multi-border liquidity for added efficiency.
So what exactly is Citigroup lying about? They're lying to you about their future plans for Bitcoin, Ethereum, and permissionless blockchains. Listen to how she answers this question and understand we've seen this before.
And I think what you just said means that you are using a permissioned version of the Ethereum blockchain, but public blockchains, I know it's early in the game and this is, the way you're doing it now is the way you have to do it, but do you ever see there being a day or a reason for a city itself or for a bank in general to implement public blockchains?
It's going to really depend on regulation, in my opinion, because
So when she says public blockchain, she means Bitcoin, Ethereum, actually using the real decentralized blockchains. They're running on Ethereum, but it's basically like their own little token they just made up. Like there's no real value. It's basically just like a ledger they would have or an Excel spreadsheet. So it's not real decentralized blockchain.
Right now, it's only permissible for us to be on a permission chain. So if regulation changes and regulators get comfortable with public, we will definitely go down that route. But right now, from a regulatory standpoint, we're sticking with permission. So it really depends, I think, on that. And as you know, tonight we've talked about in the past, it's very bifurcated across the different regions, right? Between the US, EMEA, Asia, the different regulations coming out in this space. So it'll be, I think, more to come kind of in the future on that. But, we're making it where we are future-proofing our system, that if that does happen, we can move to a public chain.
That's called a clue, Ricardo. They know eventually they want to do that. Of course, banks are huge into regulation. And, with the SEC the way it is now with Gary Gensler, they're trying to discourage crypto. I have no idea why. It's like they want to keep you poor. Crazy, right?
Yeah.
But I guarantee you, right? There's no way Citi, this lady's literally from the Citigroup Bank, is sitting here talking about blockchain and how people want to move money all around the world at any time. And they're not making plans. You think they're going to wait until Bitcoin and Ethereum go way up to start getting it?
Right. Yeah. No, I mean, this is the thing. Like she said, that people around the world don't want their capital locked up. They want options. They want versatility. They want fungibility. They want convertibility. And they also want, which makes something money, is its ability to preserve its value. You know what I mean? The ability to store value when it comes to money. And one thing we do know about fiat currencies around the world and the dollar right now is they don't preserve value at all. The dollar does not store value. And so when you have where people who have money, they want to be able to convert their fiat currency, because all fiat currency is burning up to inflation right now. It's going to get worse. They want to put in something that allows them to transcend borders. Okay. So they're not stuck with, their local currency or whatever they are. And they want something that can also be easily convertible into other assets for them to take advantage of other opportunities in any given market. And this is why they're saying, well, that's what people want, but we are waiting on regulations and things of this nature. But understand something, even waiting on regulations and SEC and these guys, they don't have an alternative. They don't have something better for it. They're just trying to create their own permission system as well, if anything. But the world is not going to go for that. This is the thing. If you give people the option of freedom or slavery, everybody's going to choose freedom at the end of the day. And that's where you're going to see money move towards. And so, like you said, Mike, it's definitely a clue that this is where the world is going. Now, at first it was just the people, it was speculation, it was hype. It was people trying to make a quick buck in this crypto digital money thing, and now you're seeing institutions and big money get behind it. Now, when you see institutional investors get behind it, now it's a serious thing. Now people are like, okay, wait, what is this? Is this a solid asset class that I could put my money into and have it be there for my retirement, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 years from now? Or is it better for me to stay in traditional finance? But when you put the things together and you see where the G7 nations are going, and when you see BRICS is going, and you see what's going on with blockchain and everything else, this is why more and more people want to get into blockchain, Bitcoin and XRP and XLM and things of that nature, because that's where the options are. That's where the growth is. That's where, you have better way of growing and securing your financial future.
Yeah, and I couldn't agree more. You nailed it on the head there, Ricardo. And Twin Turbo, bro, you're like inside my head here, right? Right now, the best buys are Bitcoin, XRP, XLM, Chainlink, and HBAR. Every single one of those tokens, I buy every single week. I got it set up on auto buy on every single one of those. So you are spot on, brother. Good stuff. Also, Daryl Matthews chiming in tonight. XLM, XDC, XRP are cryptos you want to add to your portfolio. I agree with that. Great strategy, and buying there right now while we are low. I think this is done.
The fact is, Citigroup is actively researching, writing reports on, and most likely accumulating Bitcoin, Ethereum,
Now, Chainlink, I think Chainlink is so undervalued. Chainlink's like $4 or $5 right now. It's stupid. Okay. This is a Citi report. This is from 2021. Chainlink may gain prominence over Bitcoin. A recent report by Citigroup forecasted that Chainlink may gain prominence over Bitcoin. The report cites the use of Link as a token in the Chainlink ecosystem could increase as blockchain continues to thrive globally over time. Chainlink is also being adopted on other networks such as Tezos and Polkadot. So if you guys don't know, you're new to cryptocurrency, Chainlink is a price oracle. That means they look in the real world and say, what's the price of oil? What's the price of Apple? What's the price of Bitcoin? And then they take that real world data and bring it onto the blockchain. And they make it so that it's trusted and can be verified, because once you're on chain on the blockchain, you got to know what's the price of Apple stock today at 4 p.m. What's the price of Ford at 3 p.m. What's the price of Bitcoin at 8 p.m. So Chainlink, I think, is going to be huge in the future because of the use. And I won't get into this right now, but eventually a lot of their tokens are going to be locked up in their node validators. Mims, anything you want to add when it just comes to the Citi report, Chainlink, or anything?
No, I mean, this is the wave. You know what I'm saying? When we talk about this is the way, we document it. You know, this is epic. Because one thing is for certain is that this time is coming. Nothing is stopping it. There's nothing that's stopping this transition. Yep. There's nothing that's stopping this wealth transfer. There's nothing that's stopping the collapse and the demise of fiat currencies around the world. And you know, a lot of people who there's literally a lot of millions of people who have no idea what we're talking about, that are not into this at all, because they're doing so well in the dollar denominated financial system that they might feel they don't have to worry about it. Or some people just, this information just hasn't come across their consciousness because they just haven't attracted it yet. But this is, the people who are getting this information now, the people who are in position now, they are literally going to be the ones that change their lives and their families' lives for generations to come, because of this opportunity. And once this shift fully takes place, you're set in your position. You will be what your father was. You know, we're going back to feudalism. You know, I mean, this is it. There, you know, you won't have too many other opportunities to really change your life financially after this reset. You either have it or you don't, because a lot of these assets, like silver and gold, you won't be able to buy, or they're going to be priced out. They're industrial metals, they're money, they have greater use case. A lot of these cryptocurrencies and their assets, you will be priced out. Your fiat currency will go to zero. Okay, you won't have enough to buy it. A lot of these resources, you know, seeds, ammo, whatever it is just not enough of it. You know, they're not making more of it, you know, in a sense that as the price of it is going to go up in dollars. And if all you have is dollars, you won't be able to afford and maintain your standard of living. So this is why this information is so important. It's way more important to just get rich quick, but whatever brought you here, or whatever, you know, however you got here for a reason. And it's probably bigger than what you realize, just because you can't really, you know, and we can't really see just how bad it's going to be on the other side during this reset, during this collapse. But it's not going to be pretty. It's not going to be easy. A lot of people are going to get wiped out financially and never be able to recover. But for those of us who are in the right assets, diversify right now, we'll be able to maintain our standard of living and take care of our family for generations to come. That's just the time that we're in right now.
100%, man. I got to get my soundboard working again, because I was a Don DeMarco for sure.
Yeah. Hey, if you didn't come from a wealthy family
and other,
yeah,
make sure a wealthy family comes from you.
Come from you. That's it.
Permissionless crypto assets, they're all doing it, all of them. And just like back in 2018, we're here to shed light on the truth. Subscribe to Altcoin Daily.
All right, so shout out to Altcoin Daily. Yeah, I've been watching them for years, way back in the day, bro. Like 2017.
Yeah,
you know, they were one of the first YouTube channels I found. All right, so just to remind you guys, in case you turned in late, okay, we already went over this, but we got these huge investment firms putting this much into Bitcoin, into the future of cryptocurrencies. But let's talk about what you need to be focused on right now, okay, is getting Bitcoin. Okay, this is called the Bitcoin rainbow chart. Okay, when it's in the purple and blue, you want to be buying. When it is in the red, you want to be selling. Okay, so you can see here, of course, you see Bitcoin is dead today. That's today, right? So let's look at this a little bit deeper. Okay, most of us came into Bitcoin. I actually bought my first cryptocurrency in June of 2017. Bitcoin was $2,691, Ricardo. Oh, the good old days.
Right.
Only if I would have been smarter back then.
Yeah, for real.
So then this is the first kind of big bull run most people know about. December of 2017, Bitcoin almost hits 20 grand, right? And I thought I was going to be rich and this would just continue to go up forever. I didn't know anything about Bitcoin halving or market cycles. Like, it was all emotion. And then, Bitcoin comes all the way back down. I still remember the day it went to like about 3,500.
Yeah.
And I stuck with it. I was like, this is the future. This is the way. We got to decentralize. We got to take the power back to the people. We can't trust banks or centralization. And this is when, I made most of my money is buying during this time. I was a believer. Nothing could stop me from buying crypto. We have a little come up here. And then this is the COVID crash in March of 2020. Bitcoin goes back down to 6,000. That's called an opportunity.
Right.
This is the latest, bull market most of us remember and lived through. Okay, that was in May or April of 2021. Everyone remembers Elon Musk, Dogecoin. He goes on SNL. That was basically the top. And then we kind of have our double top in November. This is where if you were running with the runners, we put in the Facebook group, sell everything you don't want to hold for 4 years. Okay, because we were aware of this. Anyone running with us, we said, listen, if you don't want to hold on to something for the next 4 years, sell it and get out now. Bitcoin goes down to, 16 grand in the blue. We were telling people this is the time to buy if you're, running with the runners. And we've just been kind of, we went up to about 30, kind of going sideways. I could definitely see something happening in the next 6 months to where we dip. But what you guys have to understand is the next halving, which Bitcoin goes on 4-year cycles, will be right around April 2024. And you want to have your buys in because you can see it when the halving happens, it doesn't just like rocket off, right? Here it kind of does this little thing, and back here it kind of petered along for a little bit. But by June of 2024, you want to have a majority of the cryptocurrency bought because this is where the lowest prices will be.
Yeah.
And the time to sell or the peak of the market next bull run is going to be around October 2025. Okay. So drill those dates in your head and start taking action. Mims, anything you want to add to make this make sense?
Well, it's like you said earlier, a lot of people in the crypto, just because they understand that it's going up and there's more money and interest going in, but you might not understand the tokenomics. You might not understand the market cycles, like Mike said early on when he first got started. And if you're not ready to hold assets for, years on years, you might want to know how and when to get in and out of the market. And when you're looking at, the halving coming up, you just understand that there's less Bitcoin being mined. There's less. So you understand that there is, not only is there less, but there's more money. There's more people aware of it. There's more demand for it. There's a global shift in the economy that the wind is at Bitcoin's back. The wind is at blockchain's back. Everything, the data, the economics, the global financial situation with fiat currencies and war and everything else, it makes digital assets, it makes blockchain, it makes alternatives to fiat currency shine even brighter than before. And then we already have, not if not the same demand, a greater demand for something that's shrinking in quantity. Okay, there's less of it. So this is why we get so excited when we tell you guys, you have to get into physical silver, you have to get into gold, you have to get into Bitcoin, you have to get into XRP and a lot of digital assets that we talk about, because these are finite assets. These are finite assets that are priced in infinite dollars. Okay. And so as these trillions of dollars that they printed, they just print up as much money as they want into infinity, right? $33 trillion in debt we are in right now. Well, all this paper money is going to go into these finite assets. There's only so much of it, which means that these assets are going to skyrocket in value. Okay. And now this skyrocket in value, if there's less of it and less of it, right? And there's more people who are wanting it, those are the laws of supply and demand. When the demand is high and the supply is low, the price has to rise. Okay. So it's just a timing thing. Just sit comfortable knowing what you know. This is why we tell you, don't value your wealth in dollars. Okay. You value your wealth in ounces. How many ounces of silver I got? How many ounces of gold I got? Value your wealth in quantity. How many Bitcoins, Satoshis do I have? How much XRP, XLM, XDC, Chainlink? What is the quantity of tokens that I own? This is where you value your wealth, because the value of these in dollars is going to skyrocket. But if you look at it and say, well, silver is only $24 an ounce, it hasn't really moved in the last 4 years, not understanding why and not understanding where we are now and where it's going to go. If you look at Bitcoin, you say, oh, Bitcoin is down from its all-time high. There's some people who are upset because they bought Bitcoin at 60,000. Right? Well, if you're looking, but there are people who spend 40 years of their life putting their money in a 401k to retire, okay, on 40% of what wasn't enough. And then with inflation, the money doesn't even buy them when they started saving for retirement. So it's about perspective. And I hope that people kind of grasp that, about having that perspective of what you're partaking in, and also realizing it's not going to take that long, folks. It's not going to take to 2030. Okay, for Bitcoin to go back to past 60,000. Okay, we just showed you to have.
Oh no.
Yeah, it's gonna go.
That's happening in 2024 or 2025.
Exactly.
So to double down on what you said, Ricardo, is think about this, guys. There are only 21 million Bitcoin, and a lot of them have probably been lost. So probably only about 19, maybe 18 million. But look at this, Ricardo. How many millionaires are in the world? There are over 22,000 millionaires. I'm sorry, 22 million millionaires just in America. That means there is not enough Bitcoin for every millionaire to buy one of them. Think about that. Bitcoin's around $26,000 right now. If every millionaire in America try to just buy one Bitcoin, there wouldn't be enough. If that isn't scarcity, I don't know what is. And then we're talking about America. We're not even talking about the rest of the world.
Yeah.
So again, guys, Bitcoin is digital scarcity, digital gold. And for those of you that are new, you might be like, well, there's other cryptocurrencies. Why don't I get those? Because Bitcoin has by far the biggest and it is the biggest and most powerful network that has ever been created in the history of the world. There are literally millions of computers, millions of, processors and video cards, not video cards, but whatever, RAM, graphic cards, that's what they are, that are processing the Bitcoin network so it can't go out. We could have a nuclear holocaust in all of Asia. Bitcoin keeps running, because it is so decentralized and there's so much computing power. It is unstoppable. It is literally decentralized. Ethereum can be stopped. Okay. It's decentralized, but there's a Ethereum Foundation. They, can pause things and whatnot. Bitcoin is the gold standard when it comes to decentralization and cryptocurrency. That's why even something like Bitcoin Cash is, I don't know, probably a couple $100 right now, because it does not have the power and the network of Bitcoin. Last thing, Ricardo, I didn't know you could do this, but I can take this and push it up to 2035 to see
on the rainbow.
Yeah, on the rainbow. So if we go to 2035, we can see that, you know, we're looking at well over $500,000.
Can you share screen?
Oh, my bad.
Yeah.
I forgot I didn't have it out there. Let me make sure. So we are at 2027. Push it out to 2035. I thought I did it before. Well, it's not really working now, so I'm not really sure.
But we can easily see Bitcoin going to hundreds of thousands of dollars.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And then I mean, it's just, it's it's inevitability. That's why we say, just, don't value your wealth in dollars, man. The dollar, you have to look at what is the dollar going to buy you in the next 10 years, 20 years? What is its purchasing power? Our oil prices right now are setting the global economy right now. Oil prices about $90 a barrel. It's going higher, folks. The prices, what that means is the prices to ship goods and services are going higher. These costs will get offsetted to the consumer. You will be paying more to maintain your standard of living. So you have to hedge against the data, against the course of where events are going. And you hedge by, of course, creating multiple streams of income is one, but saving in silver and gold and investing in blockchain and crypto.
And so I got it figured out now, right? We're going to 2037 here. So some of the smart YouTubers I'm watching now are already planning for the next 2 cycles, right? They're like, let's buy stuff now, sell at the high, buy at the low. So they're already getting ready for 2028. And you're looking at $800,000 Bitcoin. That would be at the halving, would be in 2028. So probably around like 2029, 2030 would be the high. I mean, you're looking at, $800,000 per Bitcoin. And again, that might sound crazy right now, but when Bitcoin was, in just a few years ago, when Bitcoin was at $3,000 in 2019, could you imagine telling people when Bitcoin's $3,000 in 2019, Bitcoin's going to $65,000?
Right.
People would have looked at you like you were crazy.
Yeah.
But it happened, guys. It happened.
So take advantage. Take advantage. Share this out. Make sure people get this information.
Yeah, and again, I'm not some doom and gloomer person when it comes to dollars, guys. It's just like, it'll be like the peso. Like when you go to Mexico and you want to buy like a Coke, it's 400 pesos. The same will happen here in America shortly. It already is. Ricardo, I went to North Carolina last weekend. Was in the airport. I paid $8 for a can of Pringles.
$8? That's crazy.
$8 for a can of Pringles.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Like, what is going on here?
That's crazy.
But anyways, guys, we have a way to buy Bitcoin every single day on autopilot. Okay. We've been using this for 9 months. It's in the Runners app. Okay. So if you want to get cryptocurrency education, we got you covered. You want to learn how to trade cryptocurrency, we got you covered. You want to learn how to get paid daily in cryptocurrency, we got you covered. You want to learn how to buy Bitcoin daily, we got you covered. So just look down below in the description in Facebook or YouTube, get into the Runners app, get into the Runners Facebook group. Because these next, 9 months are huge. Millionaires will be made by people who take action before June of 2024. Mims, last word tonight before we close out.
No, look, we closing out September, and I'm seeing a lot of stuff dealing with September 23rd. Could be nothing, could be something. Obviously, we're going into the following. We're closing out the year, folks, and I'm telling you, it's just be prepared. Be prepared. Do not be shocked at anything that takes place from this point on, moving forward in the next couple of weeks and in a couple of months. I'm looking to share some good news in the next month, but I'm anticipating some just a black swan or some type of event that's taking place here that we have no idea is coming. But just stay vigilant, be safe. Look, some people ask me, well, when does Bitcoin go to 100,000, or when does silver go to $100? When is gold going to 10 grand? And I always answer with the same response. It's not about when these assets will rise in value. It's about, are you ready? It's not about when is this event going to take place. It's about, are you ready? If it's to happen tomorrow, are you happy with your financial position? Are you happy with the amount of silver and gold you have? Are you happy with the amount of cryptocurrency you have? Are you happy with the preparations that you have made to sustain the lifestyle that you're living and protect and provide for your family moving forward? If the grid goes down, if there's a cyber attack, if we are in full-blown war, if there's a full-blown currency crisis, if there's a banking, whatever it is. There's a lot of stuff going on with the border right now. Influx of immigrants, tens of millions of immigrants, riots and protests in New York right now, over flooding these cities and putting a weight on the budgets and the resources that should be provided for the citizens. Okay, there's a lot of things going on, and you just have to be prepared. And if you're not ready, then you need to get ready. It's not about when is it going to happen, but are you prepared? And I like to think that we've been trying to help, and we've been helping people prepare the best that they can, because that's what we've been doing for ourselves and our family. So take it seriously, folks. Learn how to purify your water. Okay, learn how to have some seeds, organic, non-GMO heirloom seeds. Okay, of course, guns and ammo. Be ready for any type of situation, because they already have plans for it to happen.
Absolute fire, brother.
Yep.
Absolute fire. That is a Don DeMarco moment for sure. All right. We will talk to you guys soon. Catch us on TikTok. We'll be going live this week. Lace up.
Yes, up. Let's get wealthy. Peace.